In the house with some bigger rooms. Sex, religion, politics. So 3 things will get you canceled. It's the Wire Tap Ep3.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Wire Tap episode 3. And as you can see, things are a little different. My normal co-host, he had some business to handle. So I was able to find a stand-in for him for today, which would be my lovely best friend, D. Can't put her real name out there because a lot of y'all be weird. Even though I'm going to put her social under this, but don't go following her because she's probably not going to accept you.
Correct.
So, as always, I start with a mental, check-in, mental health check-in. Mm-hmm. How was your week?
Crazy.
Why so?
Well, I work in an industry where I work with a lot of different type of individuals, older individuals in particular. And I have a client who has BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. So it can be very challenging working with anybody with mental health diagnosis. And so this week was just a little rougher than previous weeks because she's about to be discharged. So it was just a crazy, crazy week. But I'm good now. So, yeah.
Well, you made it through. Mm-hmm. My week wasn't crazy. Work-wise, it was cool. Personal, things got rough, but as always, we prevailed.
Yeah.
So, I guess where I would like to start is I know you're not really a sports fan.
No.
You kind of socially engage in sports.
Correct.
How did you feel about the game last week?
Okay, period. Like, I feel like, as not like a sports person, right? Because I can't tell you what was done, how things were done, but I really feel like the game was rigged. I noticed, and maybe it's, I guess, like the defense or something like that. I noticed when the Chiefs had the ball and their quarterback, Mahomes, would like try to run it, it was like nobody there. But then when it was the opposite team, it was just like, rah, like y'all could not get through. And then it was just like times where I'm like, oh my God, like you're open, or this, why didn't this not happen? And it's just like they really fumbled the ball. I also did see on social media, I think I missed it, Travis Kelce did not get the field goal, but he literally turned around to the Jumbotron and was like, yeah, because somebody else caught it. I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's a whole conspiracy. The whole Taylor Swift bull crap, the Kelce drama. I just saw today that over, I guess, the last couple of days, there was a shooting at the parade. And Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to one of the victims who died. And then I think today they was like, oh, Travis Kelce, he also donated $100,000. I'm like, this publicity, I think it's just too much and like down our throats. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely feel like before Miss Swift stepped into the eye of the NFL, you never really heard about people's wives like that.
I mean, you did
to an extent.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't know too much about players' personal relationships or wives in a sense. And sidebar, did you see that the 49ers wives started beefing with the Chiefs wives?
Not they beefing.
So the game before, the one that the Chiefs won, remember that? Don't you know that whole trend? Like, of course I'm a whatever that.
Oh yeah, is. Of course, yeah.
So the wives of the 49ers, they did that. So, of course, naturally, when the Chiefs win, their wives do the same thing. So it was like, well, somebody wrote in the post, be original. Like one of the wives commented, like, y'all need to be original. And then it kind of got to a few exchanged words back and forth. But, I mean, even one of the wives was like, it's not that deep. We're just telling you to be original.
Yeah.
I just think it was kind of hilarious.
I think them beefing, it's like, I'm with it like a little bit, but it's getting kind of petty. It's not that deep. Y'all be probably back at the Super Bowl next year or something like that. So.
Well, I think some factors played a part in it as well, because one group looks a certain way and another group looks a certain way.
What do you mean by that?
I thought maybe there was a little racial tension in it because,
Okay.
you know, if I'm not mistaken, and please don't quote me on this, I believe that the 49ers, most of their wives were black.
Okay.
And of course, when you go to the Chiefs side, and then they, you know, redo what they did, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't original, but I felt like it was just like shit talking.
Yeah.
Because we won, we want to talk our shit.
Right.
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But also, you know, some people tried to bring in the fact that like, oh, y'all stole this from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know, it could be twisted that way, but sometimes I try not to go down that route with the race card, but it's kind of hard to do as a black person.
Yeah, it is.
Because you never know.
And you don't. And when you think about it, like, that's like you said, you know, you don't want to always be like, oh, you're doing this because, you know, you're black. But it's sometimes certain things are very obvious.
Right.
And there's what we call like microaggressions, because people have a tendency, and they're going to also say like, well, I'm not racist. I have black friends. Like, you know, that's their go-to line. I have black homegirls and all this other stuff. But that doesn't mean that you can't do racial undermining things in a microaggressive way, right? So the things that you say and how you portray things. So, you know, I don't know, just very, it's just very interesting.
So, in other news, have you been seeing what's been going on with Monique?
Yes, I watched Club Shay Shay.
Okay.
I enjoyed it a lot, actually, and I think honestly, Shannon Sharp did a way better job at interviewing, because I never really watched a lot of his interviews, but I did like the fact that he took the time to kind of ask better questions.
Okay.
I think that he could have done, you know, maybe a couple things, like not revisit certain things, because if you notice, he may have asked the same question again, like not that long after.
Right.
Versus like Cat Williams, where he's very dominant when it comes to talking. So Cat needs a little bit more structure and redirection. And so Cat will, like, literally, if you allow him to, he'll take over the whole interview. Yeah, the whole interview. But this was really good, and I'm very surprised and very happy about the outcomes of it, because now Monique is back on tour with she's on tour with Cat Williams now. I know that, as well as, if I'm correct, her son. Some more controversy with that, as well as D.L. Hughley. But I want to get to that too in another thing, because I don't know how you're going to touch on that one.
Well, I'm going to get to that point. But I guess and I didn't finish the interview. I watched part of it.
Finish it?
It was too long, pause. For me,
oh my
it was
God.
just... But I think the most interesting aspect of it is, and I seen somebody say this on Twitter, it feels like Monique is still stuck in a place, and some people have moved on, and I get that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay her trauma,
Right.
triggers, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? You heal when you heal. That's not what I'm trying to harp on.
Okay.
But I feel like it gets to a point where, do you believe some people have talent and then some people just have a skill set?
I think in life there's always nuances, right? So I'll say this, and it doesn't necessarily answer this question, but it goes back to Monique. Where Monique gripe is that she lost out on a lot of money.
Right.
And the simple fact that, okay, so imagine you as yourself, you're in the spotlight, you know, you're doing tours, you're doing all these different things, you're getting X amount of money per year, right? And every year, the more popular you become, the more money you can request.
Right.
In Monique's situation is that Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah blackballed that woman out of Hollywood, right? And this is her account, because there's always three perspectives. It's hers, Tyler Perry's, Oprah's, and the truth. So in her case, Lee Daniels did admit that he lied on her. And also Tyler Perry there was a recorded conversation.
Right, I remember that part, yeah.
Right, and that he also admits that too. So I think for Monique, why it hurts so much is because that's her livelihood. That's how she can feed her family. That's how she feeds herself. That's how she's going to create legacy within her family. And to know that if you add it all up, she said, I think that she lost out, I'm talking about throughout the years from Precious onward, maybe around $22-24 million. Mm-hmm. Would you not be mad if,
no.
you know what I'm saying? Like, would you not hold on to that?
I would be completely upset, but I think the frustration with her and the situation is, again, when I ask that question of having a skill set or a talent, I feel like when you are talented, it doesn't matter who tries to stop you. If the talent is really there to do or be what you want to be, especially nowadays, maybe like 20, 30 years ago, yeah. But with something that's like, how many people have we seen come off these phones and become successful?
Right.
Just Hilarious being one of them.
Shout out to Just Hilarious. Yeah.
Country Wayne, not to bring that up back to back like that, but you get what I'm saying.
Desmond Banks.
Drewski. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So it's like, if the talent is really there, at some point you kind of got to get past like, okay, they're not going to give me what I want, so I have to take what I want.
But how can you do that when you have been like, you got the talent, right? And you may have the skill set, but what happens when nobody really wants to work with you? There was a part, I don't know how far you got, but did you hear about the Kevin Hart part?
Yeah. I got to that.
So when you have people that is like, oh yeah, well, we can work together, and they're pulling out and you don't have the resources, how can you as that person really, you understand what I'm saying, move forward unless people kind of help usher you back in?
No, I get that point. But with my thing is, again, I guess with all the, because don't get me wrong, broke is, millionaire broke and regular broke are totally two different brokes.
Absolutely.
And it, to me, it's just like, all right, you want what you want, so you got to kind of create what you can recreate. How many bullshit Tubi movies do people watch? A million. And what we always say, all it takes is for somebody to be able to write something good, maybe get some decent actors, and it might hit. It's like, all right, Monique, they not giving you your shot, go take your shot. Go ahead and get you one of these cameras, like the camera I have, and go create some content. It might not even have to be a show. It could. I mean, look at. It could be a show. Look at.
She could have did a podcast. That probably would have been
right. Or like Issa Rae. You know, shout out to Issa.
Yeah.
Issa started doing YouTube shows. You know, making her own content with barely nothing, and now look where she is. And it's like, Monique, I know you got to have more money than what Issa had when she started in the game. So it's like. That's why I say, is it the talent or the skill set? Because I feel like some people can build a skill set, and that means like a lot of practice over time. You may not necessarily have the talent, but you worked hard at what you worked hard at, and you were able to have a skill set. So that's why I asked that question, because it's like, at this point, Monique, are you just a skilled comedian? You just know how to tell jokes, you know how to deliver punchlines, or are you really talented in that field enough to where you can cut on any camera and demand the room? I mean, I think she is. Personally, I do think she is. Because look what she did with Club Shay Shay. Yeah. But she got to feel that way.
Yeah.
So, like, I get your sentiment.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just like, at some point, you just got to take what you got to take.
I think you do, but also one thing that we have always noticed, I think, and for me, it's more so about the public opinion. Because if people don't fuck with you, I don't care what you got as far as your skill set. I don't give a fuck about your talent. When people don't fuck with you, they're not going to be buying into your brand. I'm talking about in the masses. Because you're going to always have your key supporters, the people that's going to watch your stuff. But now that the way that, I think, okay, let me say this. I think beforehand, you know, people saying the negative things about Monique definitely slow down the bag.
Right.
I think what Monique should do moving forward, while she has the public's empathy on her side, the best move for her to do is to use her talent, hone in those skills, and make more money from it. You understand what I'm saying? Because now the truth has come out. That's on her side, so she should go ahead and perplex that way. But I am interested to see, you know, how 2024 rolls out for Monique.
Me too. I mean, I wish her the best of luck. Of course, she's a Baltimore native.
Yes.
We support our own.
Yes.
I just want baby girl to, and I don't mean to call her baby girl because she's definitely older than me. But
She baby. Oh, auntie.
I want her to just take her chance instead of waiting on it. That's just how I feel about the situation, because clearly those people aren't trying to help you, excel. And I'm glad you were able to speak your truth, but doing that could also be the reason that you're kind of hindering yourself, just waiting on something to come down the pipe.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like take your advantage now. Like this is the time. Yeah. People didn't fuck with you before. They fuck with you now. Right. So the smartest thing for her to do is to get on that train and start
creating content. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Show them people how talented you are and bring yourself back to the spaces. You don't really need a machine nowadays to kind of get on. You know what I'm saying? Some people are cool with the underground, staying in the underground, making that underground market money. Some people want to be in the limelight and be, in a household name. Yeah. But at the end of the day, whatever that goal is, I think you should definitely go out for it. But we spoke on it earlier, and I know we probably about to get deep. How much time we got, cameraman? 14 minutes. Oh, we got a lot of time. Oh, okay. we about to roll with this. Did you watch the son's video?
The what?
Monique's son.
I did not.
You didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it.
Okay. So, pretty much in the video, he is speaking on his experience, being a son with Monique. And they had conversations in the past about her shortcomings from being a mom. And I would show you, but I think the clip is
It's 9 minutes. Yeah, I need like 30 seconds.
But ultimately, I think it kind of opens up a conversation about trauma as far as from children and what children experience. Because granted, I do feel like Monique, whatever trauma she had experienced, sometimes, well, let me say this. That's a perspective thing. You know what I'm saying? Because something that could be traumatic to you, for me, is like, what? Right. And vice versa. Something that's traumatic to me, for you, could be what? Right. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint what is seen or deemed to be traumatic. In my opinion, I think you do have things that are definitely like staples in trauma. Yeah. Molestation, battery, verbal abuse, things of that nature. Yeah. But there are certain situations, because I've heard people tell me about their traumatic spaces, and some of them is just like, that wouldn't have bothered me, but then it's like, I'm not you, so I don't, you know what I'm saying? So I can empathize because I've experienced, sympathize, sorry. I can sympathize because I've experienced trauma, but that one probably wouldn't have bothered me as much. But that one, of course, I would have been completely bothered. So that's pretty much what he was speaking to, is just how she, even admitted to her shortcomings and all this other stuff. I just think that it's probably harder for kids that have famous parents, because sometimes as a parent you get wrapped up in providing as well as dealing with fame. Like, I don't care who you are. I think anybody would get an ego. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think even with the profession I am, sometimes when I got the joint on and I go get some food and they don't give me the discount, I'm like, you know who the fuck I am? Right. So I can only imagine what it's like when the world literally knows who you are and you're a name. But how does that affect the child in a sense? Because you're probably always gone. Yeah. Can you really bond in that sense? Is there really time we could sit down and bond? Me and you have spoken about our childhoods, and I felt sympathetic for him. And then a part of me was like, but your mom, fame, you probably got everything you want. You didn't have to, but again, but that don't matter. Yeah, trauma is a weird thing. But pretty much that's what he was speaking to. And then they came back with a response video. Yeah, which seemed eerie. I didn't like the response video. So I gotta watch that too. Yeah, the response video seemed to me to be kind of scripted. Not scripted to the sense of like, we're reading from a script. Yeah, but like, they probably did go over that a couple times. It just was weird because, one, she was letting her husband do a lot of the talking. Especially, and her husband, that's her daddy. Yeah, her daddy do a lot of the talking, and I found that to be weird. Because his gripe is not with him, it's with her. So it was kind of weird, like, why is she not doing the talking? You know what I'm saying? Why she's not doing the response? And ultimately,
Doesn't she always kind of give him that leeway to do that?
Yeah, but
she should have took it as responsibility and her accountability as an adult and a mother.
This is my theory on that.
Okay.
On Club Shay Shay, remember she talked about her traumatic experience with her brother.
Yes.
And her family.
Yes.
I think that her husband potentially may put her so much in a safe space that she, looks to him for that.
Yeah.
Like, you handle that because I feel safe. I trust and feel safe enough with you to let you go ahead and handle that.
Yeah.
So that's where I think that comes from. Me personally, I don't really know if that's the truth, but I kind of feel like that's where that comes from. To give that person that much leeway, you either trust them or they're just abusive to the point where you don't talk. So, but I don't feel that from them. I feel like a lot of it has to do with her just trusting him to lead in a sense. Because even the whole daddy thing, like, you really got to trust somebody to call him daddy. I think it's weird. But yeah, that's pretty much what the conversation was. Him, pretty much harping on, and black parents always do this when it comes to taking care of their children. The whole, I bought you this, we gave you this, we helped you with this car, things like that. And then he put out another response video, which he kind of broke it down, which I felt like was a good, what's the word I'm looking for, interpretation of the video, because it was like, well, yeah, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to my mother. Why is my mother not speaking up? You know what I'm saying? Why is my mother not taking the accountability? So...
she needs an advocate. She was in D.C. Like, not even just to be funny.
Yeah. And that could be it, too.
I don't know.
We just don't know. We really don't. We don't.
I need to watch it. So before I even really, deep dive into that.
By then it'll be old by the time you...
Yeah, but still.
How much time we got, cameraman?
8 minutes.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come right back and finish it up.